Nathan Kade felt the absence like a phantom limb, a constant reminder of something missing, a constant ache for someone he couldn't quite place, a void that gnawed at his very soul, his sister. He knew she had existed, a fleeting presence in his fragmented memories. He could almost grasp the memory of her laughter, the warmth of her hand in his, the way she used to comfort him. But the details, her face, her name, were lost to him, swallowed by the insidious fog of the Fade, a cruel thief of memories. Most people accepted the Fade as a fact of life, an inevitable part of their existence, a natural phenomenon they called it, something beyond their control or understanding. Memories faded, loved ones slipped away, and the world moved on, indifferent to the losses. Not Nathan. He saw the cracks in their reality, the subtle distortions in their perception of time, the inconsistencies. He saw the truth that they couldn't or wouldn't acknowledge the hidden fractures in their world. Nathan's condition, temporal dissociation syndrome, made him immune to the Fade's effects. He always remembered, every detail, every face. And with each forgotten face, each erased memory, his resolve solidified, his determination grew stronger. He would uncover the truth behind the Fade, no matter the cost. He would remember, even if the world chose to forget, even if it meant standing alone. The Fade was a silent thief, an unseen specter that moved with eerie precision. It crept into the minds of men and women, stealing their pasts, piece by piece, like a slow, insidious poison. A name here, a face there, until only a vague sense of loss remained, a haunting emptiness, a collective amnesia that settled over the world like a shroud, obscuring the past. People walked around with blank stares, their eyes reflecting a chilling emptiness, devoid of recognition. But not Nathan. His mind remained a fortress, impenetrable to the Fade's insidious touch, a beacon of clarity in a fog of forgetfulness. He saw the world for what it was, a tapestry of forgotten lives, a graveyard of memories, each one a story untold. The Fade was not a natural phenomenon, he realized, but a calculated act. It was a weapon, a tool for control, erasing history, and shaping the present to fit a hidden agenda. Nathan watched as the world around him crumbled under the weight of forgotten history, a silent witness to its decay. Statues stood as monuments to forgotten heroes, their legacies buried in the sands of time. Books lay open, their pages filled with stories no one could recall, tales lost to the void. The Fade was relentless, consuming everything in its path, leaving nothing but shadows. And yet, Nathan remained untouched, a lone island of memory in a sea of oblivion, a solitary guardian of the past. The Fade wasn't confined to personal memories. Nathan began to notice discrepancies in historical records, gaps in data streams, entire colonies wiped clean from existence. It was as if someone, or something, was systematically erasing the past. The evidence was everywhere, hidden in plain sight. One day, while combing through old archives, Nathan stumbled upon a series of corrupted files. The data was fragmented, incomplete, but he could make out glimpses of a truth too terrifying to ignore. The Fade was not a random event. It was targeted, controlled, and accelerating. Panic swelled in Nathan's chest, a cold dread gripping his heart. The world was on the brink of forgetting itself. And he, the only one who remembered, was powerless to stop it. He had to find a way to fight back, to expose the truth before it was too late. But how do you fight an enemy that erases your very existence? His only clue arrived in the form of a faded photograph he found tucked away in a forgotten corner of his attic. It was as if the photograph had been waiting for him, hidden among the relics of his past. It depicted a desolate landscape, an alien sky awash in shades of purple and green. The colors seemed to pulse with an eerie life of their own. In the foreground stood a woman, her face obscured by shadow, holding a child with Nathan's own eyes. The resemblance was uncanny, almost unsettling. Scrawled on the back, in a language he didn't recognize but somehow understood, were 3 words: "Remember the silence." The handwriting was hurried, almost desperate. The message sent chills down his spine. It was as if the photograph itself was alive, whispering secrets from a forgotten time. It was a warning, a plea from a past he couldn't recall, a past that seemed to be reaching out to him, begging to be remembered. The words echoed in his mind, a haunting refrain that refused to be silenced. The silence. It was more than just a word, it was a feeling, a memory. What was it? A place, a person, an event. The questions swirled in his mind, each one more pressing than the last. He had to find out. The need for answers consumed him, driving him forward. The photograph, the message, it was all connected to the fade. He was sure of it. The pieces of the puzzle were starting to come together, and somehow he knew this unknown woman held the key to unlocking the truth. She was the missing link, the final piece. But how could he find someone he couldn't remember? The search seemed impossible, yet he knew he had to try.